Welcome back to the deep dive. If you've been anywhere near social media or entertainment news lately, you've probably felt it. There's been this huge buzz, this really viral moment gripping everyone. It involves some, pretty shocking claims about two massive music icons.
Absolutely. It's been hard to miss.
So today we're going deep. We're looking into the allegations made by comedian Katt Williams, specifically his claims connecting Beyoncé to the tragic death of DMX.
Yeah, and our deep dive today, it's based on this news piece. Katt Williams alleges Beyoncé's DMX secret.
It really breaks down what happened during a private podcast taping, which, as you said, didn't stay private at all. It just blew up online.
Exactly. Spread like wildfire. Now, just to be clear, our goal here isn't to say if these claims are true or false. We're not taking sides. What we want to do is unpack Katt Williams' specific statements, look at why he says he's speaking out, get into the details he revealed, and understand the reactions, both from fans and critics. Right. We're essentially laying out what the source material tells us, so you, the listener, can get a clearer picture and, form your own perspective.
Okay, let's get started. Katt Williams. He's definitely known for his unfiltered style, right? Fearless commentary, never really avoids controversy. And these latest claims, they definitely fit that pattern. They came out during this private podcast taping.
But didn't stay private for long.
Not at all. It hit the internet and went viral almost instantly, within hours, and people are still talking about it nonstop.
It's really something how fast it took off. And I think, beyond just the names involved, Beyoncé, DMX, huge figures, what makes it stick is this idea of a hidden truth.
Yeah.
People are fascinated by the thought that maybe things aren't always what they seem, especially with powerful people.
Yeah, that skepticism is definitely there.
So when someone like Katt Williams, who has this reputation for saying exactly what he thinks, comes forward, claiming he knows something, it really taps into that feeling. It becomes more than just gossip.
Okay, so let's get to the core allegation itself. It's pretty stunning. Katt claims there's, quote, more to DMX's tragic death than the public has been told. And then the real bombshell. He alleged that Beyoncé has been keeping a secret, a big one. A secret that, he says, could change everything we think we know about DMX's final days.
I mean, just imagine hearing that for the first time. Fans, critics, everyone was just, stunned. Social media absolutely exploded. Yet some people immediately saying, oh, it's just Katt being Katt, another outrageous celebrity.
Peter, that was definitely part of the reaction.
But then you had others, and this is interesting. They immediately started connecting dots, pulling up old interviews, mentioning weird details around DMX's death, things that maybe felt off at the time but got pushed aside.
So it wasn't just dismissed out of hand by everyone.
Not at all. It was like these claims reactivated old questions people thought were settled, buried. Suddenly they were back on the table, which gave the whole thing a different kind of weight for a lot of people.
In Katt's delivery, the source material makes a point of describing how he said it. Not yelling, not performing. It says he had this calm but serious tone. Almost unsettlingly calm, apparently. Like he wasn't trying to be dramatic, just stating what he believed to be facts.
Yeah, that calmness can be really compelling, can't it? It suggests conviction.
He also talked about why he was speaking out now. Said he'd waited long enough, kept quiet too long, and the truth just had to come out. Regardless of the consequences, he insisted, I'm not trying to bring anyone down, but he felt silence itself was becoming dangerous, more dangerous than speaking up.
And he made it personal. Our source says he hinted it was tied to a promise he made to DMX himself. Apparently, there was some kind of conversation before DMX passed, and that made Katt feel like he had a responsibility, to speak up when maybe others wouldn't or couldn't.
So he framed it as a duty, almost.
Exactly. He really emphasized this isn't speculation, this is personal. And that personal angle, that sense of obligation, it definitely adds another layer to it all. Makes it feel different from typical industry rumors.
Okay, let's unpack the specifics of the allegations more. Regarding Beyoncé, Katt was actually quite careful, wasn't he? He didn't directly accuse her of, doing anything wrong. His claim was more that she knows something, that she holds a piece of the puzzle but hasn't revealed it.
Right. The focus is on her alleged knowledge and her silence, not direct action. And Katt connects that silence to bigger things. He suggested, according to the source, that by staying quiet, she might have been protecting powerful people who maybe didn't want DMX speaking freely anymore, which paints a picture of influence and maybe control behind the scenes in the industry.
Yeah, that implication is definitely there. He didn't stop there either. He hinted at this larger picture. I mentioned things like secret meetings, controlled media, manipulated narratives.
Sounds like a conspiracy theory almost.
It does lean that way. Like there's this whole managed reality around certain big names. And he described DMX right before his death, not just as someone finding peace, but also as someone getting ready to speak on things he never dared touch before. Katt claimed DMX had actually started reaching out to certain people just days before he passed, suggesting he was about to reveal something big.
And that's where it gets really specific, but also a bit murky. Katt mentioned alleged examples of suppressed info, like phone calls that never made the news, messages that were deleted.
Yeah.
He even talked about a sense of fear that DMX had supposedly expressed to close friends. Now, he didn't name names, didn't provide sources for that.
There are no specific names mentioned.
But he claimed they exist, and that these sources are afraid to come forward. That adds a really chilling element, doesn't it? This idea of fear and intimidation.
Then there's a specific event he brought up. Katt claimed Beyoncé was at a private industry event. This was just days before DMX's health crisis. Her appearance was apparently low-key. Quiet, controlled, largely unnoticed, is how the source puts it.
Okay, so what's the significance of that?
Well, Katt alleged that during this event, key conversations happened. Conversations about, quote, how to handle a situation that had gotten too unpredictable. And the kicker, according to Katt, DMX was that situation.
Wow, okay. That's a very direct link he's drawing there.
A very direct link. And what was DMX supposedly going to reveal? Katt said he was planning to release information, not music, not a book, but something he thought would, quote, shake the industry.
Shake the industry. That's vague, but also sounds potentially huge. What kind of information?
He didn't specify exactly, but the implication was serious. Katt described DMX as being spiritually tired, said he knew things and had seen too much over the years.
Seen too much.
Okay.
Right? And this knowledge, if DMX had spoken it, Katt claimed it could have caused real damage to powerful figures. And significantly, he added, this wasn't just about the music world, it went beyond it.
Beyond music, that really broadens the scope.
It paints DMX as someone holding these really heavy secrets. Secrets with potentially wide-reaching consequences if they ever got out.
So shifting back to Beyoncé's alleged role, Katt presented her position as unique. He said she wasn't alone in knowing the truth, but she was maybe the only one with the power to challenge it.
That puts a huge weight on her in his narrative, a specific kind of responsibility.
Yes. And Katt directly questioned her silence, called it strategic silence, and asked if it came at too high a cost.
Which led to that really provocative question he posed.
Right. He asked, how many more people have to go before someone with power finally speaks up? That takes it way beyond just celebrity drama.
It really does. It frames it as a question of moral responsibility, of accountability within these powerful systems.
Katt also talked about media control. He claimed that certain stories are kept out of headlines for a reason, that the media isn't always free to report everything, especially when it involves certain names or crosses certain lines.
He called it a wall you hit when you get too close.
Yeah. Which speaks to that idea of narrative control again, that maybe what we see isn't the full picture, especially with powerful figures. And he was direct about Beyoncé's image. Said it's always been protected, too protected.
So separating the artist from the person, in a way.
Exactly. He said he respected her as an artist, but couldn't respect the silence anymore. And then that really famous line from his statement.
The one about truth and lies.
Yeah. When you know the truth and say nothing, he said, you become part of the lie. That's a direct hit, a very strong condemnation of her alleged inaction.
It's incredibly pointed.
Now, here's the crucial part we have to keep circling back to. Despite the detail, despite the conviction in his voice, Katt didn't offer concrete proof. No documents, no recordings, no direct witnesses named in his speech. He told a compelling story, but didn't provide, smoking gun.
Right. And that's key. What he offered instead, according to the source, was conviction. A conviction that, he implied, came from knowing, not just gossiping. And that's a powerful thing in itself.
Yeah.
That unwavering belief clearly resonated with a lot of people, even without hard evidence. It created this sense of certainty for some listeners.
It really speaks to how much weight people can give to pure conviction, doesn't it?
Definitely.
And Katt seemed ready for the pushback. He predicted people would try to discredit him, call him crazy, say he just wanted attention.
But he said he didn't care.
Didn't care. Claimed his loyalty was to the truth. And to DMX, a man, he said, died with too many secrets. It sounds like he braced himself for whatever came next.
And what came next was predictable in a way.
Yeah.
The internet split right down the middle. You had calls for investigations on one side, and on the other, people accusing Katt of being reckless, making dangerous claims without proof.
Total polarization.
Exactly. But nobody could just ignore it.
Yeah.
The intensity of what he said, and again, how calmly he said it, it just fueled the debate. Everyone had an opinion.
And one of the immediate effects was how fans started looking back, revisiting old DMX interviews, tweets, moments from his last appearances.
Trying to see them in a new light.
Precisely. And past comments DMX himself had made about feeling watched or controlled or manipulated suddenly felt, as the source puts it, more chilling.
Yeah, those old clips started circulating again, taking on a whole new, darker meaning for some people in the context of Katt's claims. It made them rethink everything.
So let's just quickly recap. We've walked through Katt Williams' really explosive claims, the sheer conviction behind them, the specific details he laid out about Beyoncé's alleged secret, DMX's final days, and these potentially powerful figures involved. You've now heard the details as presented in our source material regarding these very serious allegations.
And it leaves us and you in a really interesting place. We live in this age where information, or alleged information, travels instantly. Celebrity claims can spark global conversations overnight. So it raises a big question, doesn't it, for all of us listening? How do you navigate that line? The line between someone's powerful, impactful conviction and allegations that remain, at least for now, unproven. Especially when the reputations and legacies involved are so significant, and maybe even deeper. What responsibility do people with perceived power and knowledge actually have to speak out? What's the cost when truth, or what someone believes to be truth, stays hidden? Definitely something to think about.